This is much a message to my childhood friend Ron as it is a story. Ron, you're a great guy, and we've been friends for 50 years, 50. But when it comes to all the texts you've been sending me, you can do better than this two-word stuff that I've been getting. Now, I know this is the age of tweets and 40 characters or less, but come on, man, I want more from you. I know we know each other so well. We go back to seventh grade when we were both 12 years old, and we were skinny, tall, uncoordinated kids trying to play basketball, and we could barely hold the ball and chew gum at the same time. But things changed, and you got big and strong, and we both got to be good ball players. And you went on to be all conference and all state, and we had a great time playing, and it was wonderful. And it seems like when we talk to each other, I just need more from you about what's going on now than good morning or good afternoon or teammate forever or how you. I mean, you don't even spell out you, it's just the letter U. I mean, I felt like last fall when we had dinner together at Gibson's in Chicago, that was like one of the best dinner conversations of my life because we spent hours going into all the details. And not only do we remember all the good times about junior high and senior high basketball games and practices and the state championship game and our teammates and coaches and everything that's happened. But you also told me some of the stuff that you don't normally see, and it doesn't get put up in the social media, like your struggles and how you dealt with the things that you don't see from a guy who you only think of as kind of an all-star ball player. And, it was amazing, and I really enjoyed that stuff. And I really wanted to learn more about, what had happened with you. I mean, when you told me about going to Europe to play professional basketball, but having to borrow the money to get there, and then not knowing you had to earn enough money to make your way back, that really amazed me at the courage you had to do that. But then also, when you told me that you got there and the roster was full, and you were in a place where you didn't speak the language and didn't know what was going to happen next, I couldn't believe how scary and risky that sounded and what courage it was going to take to figure out what you were going to do next, until you got to the point where you heard about an opening in Sweden. So you made your way up there and you tried out and you made it, and it worked out well. Your whole life has been like a basketball game where you get ahead a few points and then you fall behind a few and then you get ahead again. And it's great how you on Facebook will put something about, your wins. When you win, you celebrate. And when you don't, you learn from it. And that's great stuff. I really appreciate and want to get to know more about your philosophy on all these things. I mean, I remember when we were walking away, or when I was walking away from the restaurant that evening, and going back to my hotel, I was thinking, man, Ron is really gone through some real life experiences, and I intend to stay a lot closer to him and, just learn all I can, glean as much as possible from this guy. I mean, we have such history, but there's in the gaps, we lost some stuff. And I just thought as I was walking away from there that I'm going to do that. And it was funny, the next morning I'm at O'Hare and waiting for the flight to go back, and I get from you a text message, 2 words, of course, travel safe. And I thought, well, I'm starting things off here. I'm going to send him a lengthy return message about how great that night was and what I picked up by learning from you and how much you got to offer and when I'll be back to Chicago again, and we'll get together and do this again. And then I remember you responded, for sure. And I was like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work. But anyway, we're going to try. We're going to do this. And it just, well, I just felt like if I could get a little bit more from you. I appreciate the fact that you send me these messages so frequently. You're always, you know, got the checking in thing going on with us. But when you throw me one of those bones, I just wish there was a little more meat on it. And so I was thinking the other day about what you told me. Well, what I know now about what you've done, and when you started this now a professional basketball team, a development league team that is helping people to make their way and go through what you learned from the difficulties and struggles that you had. And that's such a great thing. I mean, I think I would love to write a book about your experiences. I mean, you've used your passion for basketball and become really a philosopher of life about it. So my whole point was, I just want to, I intend to stay really close to what you are doing and what you've learned. And so that's why when I got the notice 2 weeks ago from our teammate Jay that you passed away, I was just not ready for that. It hit me like a ton of bricks. That was not at all what I intended. He told me about the COVID and how that triggered the heart attack, and within 12 hours of knowing that you had it, you were gone. And I still really don't know how to deal with that. But I'll tell you, the lesson I did learn from you, Ron, was it's possible to stay close to your friends and to reach out to them often and frequently, like you did. And if you don't know what to say, maybe one of the best things you can do is just reach out with a quick and heartfelt short message like, how you? You played the game of life well, Ron. You're a big man who made a big impact, and the world's a better place for the time you spent here. Coach would be proud of you. I'm proud of you. Good game.